What's up, Marcus? Welcome to Trust Me, Bro. How you doing tonight?
Hey, doing fantastic. Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely. Just want to introduce the audience to our guest host, Marcus Mattingly. Craig is on a cruise ship in Europe right now, so I asked Marcus to sub in and be a guest host tonight. So thank you very much, Marcus, for joining us on Trust Me, Bro.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure.
Well, congrats on winning all four of your leagues over the weekend and tonight. So you sealed the deal with Waller tonight. So good job.
Yeah, and Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker actually he scampered that 31 yards in that fourth quarter, and that really pushed me over in the league. I really needed that. So it was really nice to actually finally get some wins on these leagues.
Yep. Well, good job, man. Hopefully your faith is restored and you're not gonna give up anytime soon. So that's what makes these things fun, man. You got to lose every now and then to make the wins that much sweeter, right?
Yeah, absolutely. How'd you do?
3-1. Oh, I'm sorry, 1-3. So 1-1, lost three. So I just barely got by in my work league. So yeah, just squeaked by. Won by maybe 5 points. I would have won if Waller hadn't have got that last catch at the end of the night in garbage time. So
Yeah,
lost that
exactly.
one by less than a point. So yeah, those hurt. But hey,
Yeah,
live to
that does
fight
hurt.
another day.
Yeah,
Yep.
right, right. You feel like me for the first 3 weeks.
Yep. Yep. So got yeah. Well, hey, it's all right. It's early, man. Only 4 weeks, so we got plenty of
But
football left this season.
that's right, plenty of football.
All right, so you know the format. We're going to talk about some of these players to pick up off the waiver wire. I know it's slim pickings out there right now with 4 weeks under our belt. And so the waiver wires are picked pretty clean in all four of our leagues. I know you and I play together in three of them. So why don't you hit me with your first quarterback if you have any?
Yeah, okay. First quarterback that I would suggest is CJ Stroud with Houston, the Houston Texans. I tell you, this guy, his first year as a rookie, he's really coming in his own, and he's really getting that trust with his receivers, right? I mean, and also too his tight end Schultz, which is another person I would suggest. But Nico Collins got 53 points
Yeah, 51. Yeah,
or 50,
fantastic.
51 points? Yeah, fantastic performance, right? And
Yep.
what they won 30-6, I think. So I mean, again, Houston's you know surprising a lot of folks, right? And I think CJ Stroud moving forward. Um, Definitely on a league that you can have two quarterbacks. I would definitely pick him up, or if it's a league with only one quarterback, definitely put him on your bench. You know what I mean, for one of those buys for one of your primary ones. So CJ Stroud would be my pick for a quarterback. On the waiver wire, he's I think less than 40% rostered. So I think that's a good choice.
Yeah, totally agree. CJ Stroud, I actually had his name written down. Also, he was my top choice for quarterback. It looks like he's got 1,212 passing yards with 6 touchdowns and 51 rush yards so far among these 4 games. And so he actually ranks QB 12 overall in fantasy points. So he's a QB 1. I mean, you got 12. Usually, these leagues we play in are at least 12-man leagues, and so he's definitely ranks up there. He's performing as a QB 1, as even in a single QB league without two QBs. So yeah, totally agree. He's a great pick.
Yeah,
All
agreed.
right,
Yeah, agreed.
so my first pick, other than Stroud, because you already talked about him, is Kyler Murray of the Cardinals. He's only 26% owned on the Yahoo side. He's good to stick him in an IR spot right now. Let's just say you're playing in a one quarterback league and you don't necessarily want to have a backup quarterback, but you got an IR spot just sitting there empty. So he'd be a good one to pick up. Just to stick him in your IR spot, so he's not even really costing you a bench spot. He could come back in week 6 or 7. It looks like he won't be coming back in week 5, so at least you can kind of sit him in there parked in your IR spot just in case something happens to your QB 1. So he might be somebody to stash away.
Yeah, yeah. No, definitely. No, I agree with that. And it's sort of difficult for him too. Also, the quarterback Dobbs is looking pretty nice.
Yeah,
Right,
he is.
he's actually doing pretty. Now I don't know his stats right off the top of my head, but I know he's been doing pretty well with Arizona. Sort of segue into sort of one of my top receivers that I would suggest. He's only his less. I think he's is like 20% in the Yahoo or one of the ESPN is Michael Wilson, right, receiver for Arizona. This last game, he got 7 receptions, 76 yards, and two touchdowns. Now you still got some other speedsters on there. I mean, you have Hollywood Brown, right, on Arizona. So I mean, he does get a majority of the targets, but again, Michael Wilson's is somebody that I would look at, and especially when Kyle Murray comes back on board, hopefully in week 7, week 8, right?
Yep.
That definitely increases the dividends for the receivers, like Michael Wilson or Hollywood Brown.
Hollywood. Totally agree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, I saw that performance yesterday on Sunday from Michael Wilson. Yeah, it looked like he had a dynamite game for sure. And speaking of Josh Dobbs on the stats, he's only 5% owned. He's got 814 pass yards with 4 touchdowns. He has 141 rushing yards and 1 touchdown so far this season, while filling in for the injured Kyler Murray. So, if you're in a pinch, and if you're playing one of these quarterbacks like Pickett, who just went
Like
down for the Steelers,
went down. Yeah.
you might, you could probably do worse than picking up Josh Dobbs, for now, and then maybe stashing Kyler Murray in your IR spot, and then just ride Dobbs until Murray gets back. So, if you lost Pickett, that might be a good strategy for somebody who's in a bind.
And also, it's better than anybody than Joe Burrows right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if Joe's getting you 3, then you can park him, deep on your bench, and ride one of these guys.
I might put him in my IR spot, man.
No kidding, right? Yeah, I think. Yeah. So okay. So you got your first wide receiver out there, Michael Wilson, I believe you said. I don't know if I'm saying that name right,
Michael
but
yep,
okay.
Michael Wilson. Yep.
And so the first wide receiver I wrote down was Tyler Boyd with the Bengals. He's only 37% owned on the Yahoo side, and he in week 4 he had 7 targets, caught 4 of them for 26 yards. Not exactly a great performance or anything, but the thing that intrigues me about Boyd is that Higgins has a rib injury, so he may be out. I mean, he says he's going to come back and play as soon as possible, but we'll see. If he broke ribs, he may be out for a week or 2. So this might be an interesting spot for Boyd to step in there and soak up some of those targets.
I agree. No, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's hard when Cincinnati lost Higgins and to that rib injury, and so you're right. I mean, somebody's going to have to fill the gap, and Tyler Boyd looks like he's going to be next up behind Jamar Chase and a few of those other skilled players. But yeah, no, I definitely agree. That's a good choice. I actually had him as my wide receiver too.
Okay, so perfect. You got any other wide receivers, Marcus?
Actually, I got one more. So as you said, it is Slim Pickens, but I'm liking the guy out of Green Bay, Romeo Doubs.
Yep.
Right. And the reason why I'm liking him is he's, for whatever reason, he has a connection with Jordan Love. Right.
He does. Yeah.
I think he got about 12 or 13 targets, 9 receptions, 95 yards. He didn't get any touchdowns this past week, but Jordan Love is looking for him. Right. And so, and Romeo Doubs, I think moving forward, he's going to have a big now. One thing that's really helped Romeo Doubs is Christian Watson's been out. He played a little bit this past game when they lost to Detroit. I think Watson got a touchdown, but he was only in the game not too much. I think it was less than 50% of the snaps. And so Romeo Doubs definitely was playing majority of those snaps, and you can tell, based on his workload. And moving forward, I think Jordan Love and Romeo Doubs are going to connect, and I would be surprised if Doubs didn't get a touchdown here in the next week or 2.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. They were obviously easing in Christian Watson in his first game back from injury, and Doubs has been impressive. I mean, in one of my leagues, he's scored 18 points in 3 out of 4 games so far. So with that kind of production, that's pretty solid. That's almost 20 right there. So you can't sneeze at 18 points. I mean, that'll get you where you need to go in one of your wide receiver slots. So good pick there. All right. So the only other wide receiver I wrote down is Jameson Williams. He plays for the Lions. He was a pretty highly drafted player out of Alabama, and so he did really good for Alabama. I think he tore his ACL in the national championship game a couple of years ago. Last year, he spent most of the season on IR, kind of came back and didn't play a whole lot towards the end of the season. But he did get suspended for gambling. It looks like the NFL just changed their gambling policy. So that way he's going to serve the 4 games, which he's already served, and he'll be coming back next week. So he might be somebody to target over there on the Lions to keep ASB company.
Yeah, no, agreed. No, that's a good choice. Definitely a good choice.
All right.
And then I actually got a running back. I got one running back. That's
Yeah. Okay, tell me who your running back is.
Yeah, I mean, again, there wasn't too many running backs out there, but obviously Javonte Williams from Denver got hurt. Don't really know all the ins and outs of his injury and how long he's going to be out. But the running back Jaleel McLaughlin actually definitely filled in for him, and what he had 100+ yards, did very well, and they actually won that game right against the Bears, and
Yep.
so. I think that would be a good pick, especially when Javonte Williams, depending on how long his injury is, he might be a good pickup for a flex, and sort of stash him on your bench just in case if Javonte Williams is dealing with injuries throughout the entire season.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. He was the name I wrote down. The only other running backs I had were just IR stashes or just guys that are even on IR, so I won't even mention their names. But yeah, solid pick. So hey, Marcus, thank you very much for joining us on Trust Me, Bro. We're going to go ahead and call it a night at the Jaleel McLaughlin Broncos pick. So thank you very much. I appreciate you joining tonight.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. Thanks very much for filling in, and look forward to watching the games on Thursday night and next weekend.
All right, have a good one, man. Good luck.
Okay, you too. Thanks, Marcus.
All right, bye.